finally a local. He had to live there 7 years. So down there, the easiest ways I could figure out who was a visitor and who was a local is how you said the name of this. So it's Conch, not Conch. If you are in Europe though, usually it's said Conch because that's how it's spelled. So it depends on where you are, how it's said. When in doubt, watch a local, see what they do, and copy that. That's an easy way. Now, a queen conch is a marine snail. She's a sea snail. She built the whole thing by herself. This one's somewhere around maybe 20, 30 years old. So it takes a really long time to get this big. They can live up to 50. They're usually a little thicker as far as like the edge of the shell here, and a little wider and heavy. So that's how you can tell it's more of an older snail. And generally this is about as big as they get. Now the pink, fun fact, the pretty pink on the inside comes from how much red algae she ate during her life. This one not so much, but sometimes it can be crazy pink. Now generally if you find one of these in the ocean, you are not allowed to take it out of the water without committing a federal and state offense in the state of Florida. The reason why is in the 1960s and 70s, conch is really tasty. It became popular. We hunted them down. We took too many, and then their population plummeted. It takes 20 to 30 years to get this big. So now they aren't protected, so that way their numbers go back up and do what they're supposed to. Instead, you can still eat conch and still have conch shells, but it's going to be different. Now we farm conch. Somebody figured out how to grow snails. So you can grow snails to get the shell and the food, never touch the ocean, and it works. If you go to Key West, go to any place called a gift shop, you'll find about 50 of these on the shelf, and that's from those farms. So that way we can still have the snail shell legally. So if you see one in the wild, put it down, leave it alone. You can watch it, pick it up. Generally, an FWC officer is not going to believe you if you say that I just found this, especially if it has a hole on the top like this. This is a harvested animal. This was done by a human. If an FWC officer sees you holding something like this, they're going to not believe whatever story you come up with. So better just to leave it and maybe purchase one at a shell shop. Plus they're way prettier at the shell shop. They usually pick out the 30 pink ones. Now I do have a different kind of conch. This one's a little larger. And funnily enough, this one's not even as big as they get. This is called a horse conch. A horse conch is not actually a conch. And here's the easy way to tell. When you look at a seashell, you've got the swirly end, and then you've got like the chimney end. On the chimney end, if there's only one little chimney, that's it. It's not a conch. If it does have two, so for example, this queen conch is perfect for this. She has two. She's got the one here, and then one more. That's for her eyeballs to look at with this. So if she's got two, it's a conch. If she doesn't, it's just not a conch. It's another kind of snail. So we know that the horse conch is not actually a conch. It's only got one. It's actually a tulip snail. It was misnamed, I guess, in the 1800s, 1802, somewhere around there when we invented science. So we didn't quite know that yet. Now this one's rather small. They average about 2 feet long. My forearm is 1 foot long. So for example, to about my elbow is how big they're supposed to get on average. So your average adult. So a very large snail, which actually, fun fact, this is the second largest sea snail on the planet. The only one that's larger is in Australia. So they don't get much bigger than this. This is an interesting snail though. The queen conch eats algae. She's a vegetarian. This one eats whatever snail they can get their face on, which means they're carnivorous and they don't well, I'm eating coffee and I'm running out of words. They don't distinguish between their own kind or some other snails. So horse conchs can cannibalize sometimes. We have a horse conch. He lives in the Wabagon tank, much smaller. He's like this big. His name is Frank. I love Frank. He's cool. He's going to take forever to grow, but someday he will get about 2 feet long. We also have, not the prettiest shell in the world, but also one of the more unique in the world. This is called a lightning whelk. Now normally, on a really pretty one, it will be khaki colored with light white stripes that zigzag all the way down the side, lightning whelk. And there's something weird about this snail that they're not supposed to be doing, but they do it anyways, and they're famous for it. So if I hold up these two snails exactly the same way, you can see something weird's going on. Can you see it? Yes, it's the opposite. So this is a left-handed animal, and these are all right-handed animals. Out of the entire world, and especially in the Gulf, this is one of the largest lefty snails on the planet, and really the most famous over here in the side of the world. And we have no idea why they turned left, because they didn't always do that. About 3 to 5 million years ago, they were right-handed, and somebody got a great idea, and it worked, so it stuck. That's what we call adaptation. We think there's 2 main reasons. First of all, crabs are right-handed, so when you look at our hermit crabs and whatnot, the big meaty claw with the muscle is on the right. That's for crashing open shells to get to a snail. So if this guy's facing the wrong way, it could quickly become too confusing and frustrating for a crab who doesn't have time for that. So they literally turn around, look at another snail that's right-handed and go towards that one. And this one lives another day. So that could be why. Or maybe this snail can reach food amongst the reef that the other snails can't physically do. And so he gets that bonus snack that they don't get. So that's two main reasons that right now we think maybe when that's happening. They've been around for quite a bit. Last but not least, I have a conch horn. This is also found in every place called a gift shop in the Keys. You can technically make your own. If you have a seashell and you cut the tippy tip of the spiral part off to make about the size of a quarter, I'd say, of a hole on the end. You now have an instrument that has been around for 18,000 years. This has been around since mammoths were being hunted by humans, which is really long. And this is a great tool to use for finding your friends if you get lost, or calling your troops into battle, or calling the rest of the tribe, because how in the heck are you going to get a mammoth home? So generally you have to have everybody work on that. Mammoths are big, by the way. They're much larger than you think. So this is a very old instrument, and I happen to know how to play it. So if you like, I can play it for you. Okay. Yeah? Okay. Now it's kind of loud. So if your ears are sensitive, just put your palms over your ears and it should be okay. I'm not going to have the mic, so I'm not going to put your eardrums out. Usually I get this on the first try, we'll see. I did it earlier. But this is also something you will hear constantly in the Keys at sunset, and I have no idea why, but it's just a thing we do. We sing the sun to sleep. So let's see what it sounds like. Alright, let's see. Now mind you, I'm a former marching band kid, so this is going to be loud. I know how to use it. So generally, I'm so sorry. Oh, probably startled him. All right, so if you ever decide to go hiking, bring one of these with you. You can find your buddies. Or if you've ever watched the movie The Cruise, when they get lost and find each other again, that's with the seashells. Yeah, so that's what that is. Now, if you have any questions, unfortunately I did run out of time, but I still can answer them after the show. So you're welcome to come find me if I'm running around and look busy. No, I'm not. Grab my shoulder, ask me a question, because that's how I got here. It's like asking stuff. So the more curious you get, the more you learn. I'm going to take these back with me over towards the Sea Star Touch tank so I can pull them back out if you wanted to look at